Hey guys, John V from PhoneArena here. I'm live at MWC 2016, the big show in Barcelona, Spain, and I'm doing a quick hands-on look at the LG G5. This is without a doubt the biggest change to the series ever, and it's the most radically redesigned handset during MWC 2016 here. It now features a first metal frame for the series. It gives the phone that sense of premium sturdiness that we haven't seen before. And it also has this new modular design, which is pretty interesting for a metal phone because it allows it to retain a removable battery, a micro SD card slot, but it's also used to accommodate all these various peripherals that LG is going to be making, dubbed the LG Friends. You have this camera grip one for taking photos, which also houses an additional battery of its own. You also have this audio DAC 2 to enhance the audio experience. Now, while the signal controls have changed in the rear, you still have the power button there. It incorporates a fingerprint sensor, but the volume controls have been moved to the left side. And while the resolution remains at Quad HD, they did bump up the size of the screen to 5.6 inches. It's still exceptionally detailed and pretty sharp. Now, it is an IPS LCD-based display, but when we look at it closely, it kind of reminds us of AMOLED due to some of its characteristics. You have some saturation to colors, you have a high contrast, wide view angles, and that deep black color reproduction. You technically no longer need to do the knock-on feature to turn on display because it borrows from the LG V10 with its always-on screen. At first glance, the new LG Scan running on top of Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow looks unchanged from before. Visually, it looks identical to what we've seen in the past with its squarish looking icons and the color scheme. But as we dive deeper down to the experience, we notice that it's been dumbed down because basically they've limited the app store that we're used to, and even a staple feature such as dual window feature, which gives you side-by-side apps multitasking. They're not there anymore. Yes, it's more streamlined, simplified than before, but it's not really as compelling to power users. Not surprisingly, it leverages its power from the latest and greatest from Qualcomm's camp. It's a Snapdragon 820 chip coupled with 4GB of RAM and the Adreno 530 GPU. Now, short time just checking out the G5, it runs exceptionally smooth as you'd expect. You have that tight feel just navigating around the interface, and you kind of know that it's going to be great for games considering the track record of Qualcomm's chips in the past. Now, LG claims that the added firepower is needed in order to work in conjunction with the new accessories being made for the G5, like this 360-degree camera, a new VR headset, and this orb-shaped robot, which is like a Sphero on steroids. Interestingly enough, the G5 borrows the dual camera setup that we saw with the V10 first, but instead for the front-facing camera, it's for the rear cameras. It breaks down to 16 and 8 megapixel cameras with dual LED flash, while the front one's just a single 8 megapixel camera. Now, the dual camera setup's not there for post-bokeh effects, but essentially there for a wider capture, and that's about it. And just like the G4 from last year, the G5 comes with the usual set of shooting modes and manual controls that we'd expect. So you know it's going to be great for still shots and everything. But shockingly enough, there are no manual controls whatsoever for the video side of things. Now this is kind of important because this indicates the differentiation between the G series and the V series from LG. The G kind of caters to photos, while the V series towards folks who like video. So far, there's no word on pricing, but you could expect it to fall somewhere around the $600 to $700 range, which is typical of any flagship. LG is trying to sell the G5 as an ecosystem where its functionality can be expanded with all these new accessories. The new premium design is a long time coming and something we highly appreciate, but it all feels like they've taken one step forward, one step back all at the same time. Essentially, the reduced functionality with the Android experience is arguably the most glaring thing about it. Then again, it seems like they're making the G series to cater to a wider set of consumers, while the V series aims to be for the power users out there. Ultimately, time will tell whether or not this is the right decision.